just make sure you guys can see my screen as well. Okay. Okay. Right. Perhaps in about a minute or so we can start. You guys can hear me loud and clear, see my screen, see me as well. All good? Hi there, Chenko. How are you doing? Good evening to you too. All good? You guys can hear me, yeah? Loud and clear. We shall start in about 1 minute or so. And loud and clear. Brilliant. Thank you, Pratap. Perfect. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay. So we've got quite a number of pairs to discuss as well. But I just want to also guide you guys through action forex as well. Okay. Okay, good. Right, give me a second, guys. Just going to close the door and we can start. Okay. All right, let's just make sure you can see the screen. There you go. Brilliant. Okay, guys, how are you guys doing? Very good evening. Today is the 13th of July, 2020. Okay, and we have definitely have got loads of volatility expected for this whole week. So for those of you guys who are a bit worried about not trading today, you know, seeing that we've got a lot of volatility, but then you may feel like you have missed out. Don't feel like that. That's called FOMO, FOMO, fear of missing out. Okay, so we don't want to fear being missed out, being missed by the market, or missing out from the market or trading the market. This whole week we have got quite a busy data economic calendar as well, so don't worry, we've got loads of opportunities to trade. Now today, if you have not traded enough or you have not balanced up your accounts properly, you still have got some floatings and all that, we will deal with that. But most importantly, we want to ride the market correctly with the trend directions. We want to pick the right pairs as well. This is the most important thing. Now, if we look into action forex just as an idea, if we go on to the top mover section here, you can actually take a look at this table here, which has from number 1 to number 10, giving you an idea of the pairs that has got a lot of you know, sort of volume or interest by investors. Whether they are buying or selling, we don't know that, but then the interest is going into Euro JPY, AUD JPY, and CAD JPY, which are the top 3 in the daily chart. But then out of all these pairs right here, you need to look at the one that has 4 dots here, which actually gives us a bit of an idea of the trend to be clearer when it has 4 dots here on the 4-hour daily, weekly, and monthly. So that is for NZD JPY. So there's a lot of there's been a lot of focus as of Asian Open today on JPY crosses. So as you can see, the top 3 itself has got JPY in it, and that is giving us a bit of an idea that they have got an interest in pegging the currency, one currency with JPY, and JPY is a safe haven as well. CHF is a safe haven as well. But then we are looking at a lot of selling of JPY, but we want to not follow what we see now, because what we see now, even though we look at Euro JPY, and then there's a plus sign here, plus meaning that they are buying the base currency, which is the euro. So if they are buying the euro, that means they're selling the JPY. It's the same for the AUD JPY. They are buying the AUD, they're selling the JPY. The same for CAD JPY as well. They are buying. But it does not mean that if we are looking at the buy now, this is the direction. No, because this is what they are doing. But what they are doing fits their own strategy. Okay, because they may be trading for a long term, we don't know. They may be floating a lot, they have got their own strategies, we just don't know. So we don't really follow just the directions like that. Okay, so yes, we will, Alfred, look into GBP USD, GBP JPY. Let me just write it down here. Yes, we will look at all these pairs, but it's very important for us to look at the trend as well at this moment of time. Which pair has got what trend, so that we've got an idea of the trend for the four pairs that you are looking at as well, Alfred. Okay, so GBP USD, GBP JPY, Euro USD, as well as GBP AUD. Now, these are pairs that have got loads of volatility as well. So I want to just give you a bit of an idea, whereby, as you can see, the JPY is in focus, but JPY is on the selling side most of the what we can see, but it does not mean that this is what we will be doing as well. The most important thing is we want to look at clarity of trend. Okay, so here we have got a 4 dots here telling us that a lot of people, or most of the traders and investors, are actually buying the NZD. And this is good because this we can rely on a little bit if we have 4 dots, because the trend is a little bit steady. So at least we've got an idea that JPY is on the selling side and most other pairs on the buying side. But again, we will confirm that with our own eyes when we go on to onto the pair itself on the chart. Okay, so here GBP Jpy, as what Alfred has mentioned earlier on, it probably must be on the buy side, but we want to confirm because JPY is on the weak side. But if we go on to the top movers, we want to also go onto the currency heat map. We want to get a bit of an overall view, okay? Because a lot of you guys are trading the Euro USD as well. As you guys can see here in this generic table itself is telling us that Euro is strong, right? Correct? It is quite bullish. Why? Even though it's a red all here, does not mean that Euro is the one that is bearish. It means that all the currencies on the left here is quite bearish or very bearish against the euro. So they are all weak here and euro is actually strong. So if we go and confirm that, we need to go back here and we can look here. Now you can see that the clearest of the trend when it involves euro is actually euro versus the CHF. Now, some of you guys are on the Euro USD. You see the Euro here against the USD is bullish, generically bullish, because you've got light blue. But then the one that has a lot of dark blue is Euro CHF. But again, we want to confirm this in a bit. Okay, so we'll go through all the pairs as well, especially the ones that Alfred has actually mentioned, and also the ones that we think have got opportunities and clearest of trend first. We're not looking for opportunities without the trend. We want to look at the trend first and then look for opportunities within a very strong trend, so that we know that it is a marathon of a trend, not a trend that can actually last for now and then we jump in now following that trend, and then we get either hit our stop loss or the market reverse against us, and then we have to wait for a very long time until we really come back again to the break even. That's why we ran the course the other day, not course but an online tutorial on risk management. Under the risk management itself, it's looking at how you can go back to your break even. Remember that? Yeah, you want to go back to your break even. If you have lost 20%, it doesn't mean that you've got to make up that 20%. It will have more, always more than what you have lost, in order for you to make up to go back into break even. Okay, so this is where we want to also apply what we have learned theoretically and apply it practically. Okay, so this is basically it, and practice makes perfect for that. So don't worry, we will take it as it comes and deal with it. Euro US, GBP AUD, GBP USD, GBP Jpy. You've got a lot of currencies here as well that is along those lines, but you can see, Euro is on the plus side, especially with some pairs, but not against the AUD and ZD. So AUD and ZD is looking like it has got the power to actually come back up again. So it's trying to be bullish again for AUD and ZD. Of course, we've got all the news going on in Victoria, where they will, I don't know whether they've confirmed it already on the second wave shutdown as well. So second time shutdown on the second wave of the corona. So here we have got a bit of a clarity in terms of euro, which basically means more than 50+% of the pairs are, the euro is bullish against 50+% of the pairs here. So it looks like it's got a bit more momentum on the bullish side against other currencies, except for AUD and NZD. The other one is, I want to train your eyes to look into this this heat map, to look at dark red, more dark red in the columns, or more dark blue. So like, for example, this one here, if all four is really good, Now, all these one here means that CHF is much weaker than NZD. You've got opportunities there as well because the trend is clear. So I'm looking for clearest trend. I'm of course looking at all dark blue under one column, all dark blue or all dark red, but we get at least about three. We didn't get four dark colors ones, all in sync at the moment. So okay, we've got that one. But again, we want to combine your heat map together with your action bias. Now, it is not only to go and find pairs to trade now, but also to measure the trend for your floating trades. It's very, very important. We want to see what is the trend built up on your floating trade. So for example, we are still floating on Euro USD, right? So if we are floating on Euro USD, look at the Euro side of it. It's mainly on the upside majority. If you combine your action bias here, you can see it's on the upside, and you combine that with your heat map right there, you can see that the Euro in general is actually on the upside. So it is Euro versus USD. You can see it is still on the upside, but we want to look at correction potential so that you know your float, if you're floating, whether you need to probably give it more time until it come down. It doesn't mean that it will definitely come down and make you profit, but it's better to cut your loss early as well. So if we have a potential to wait until it comes down and reduce your loss, then we will do that, and then we should be cutting our losses early. But that's why we want to know the trend a little bit, get a bit of an idea. So Euro USD is not like super strong, but there is a reasonable area that it is reversing at the moment, from being bullish, for example, is reversing downwards, let's say, just as an example. Okay, so then this is your Euro USD. But again, if we look at Euro USD with a pivot meter here, might give you a bit of an idea of what is going on. Let's say we want to look at a 4-hour first. Yeah, we go on to the Euro right here. Now Euro USD is that needle right there. Now if the needle is moving to your right, that actually means it is up and up and up and up. So if it is up and up and up and up, it will be going there, meeting resistance number 1, resistance number 2, and resistance number 3. So now what it's trying to tell me is that there may be a potential for Euro USD to go up more and then to go and meet the resistance number 2. So we are going to find that out. Now, firstly, onto the chart for Euro USD to look at the trend strength first. After we have looked at that, we want to look at the right side as well on the price and the price psychology, and then we want to look at the left as well. And then we want to look at all this potential of where it will go, how much length, so that you guys who are having float, or you have got your floating accounts on certain pairs, can actually measure, oh, is this much more potentially? Do I want to cut halfway through if it goes up there? At least you can plan early to cut your loss. If not, you don't have that map vision of knowing what you are supposed to actually do. Okay, so we're going to do that together. Okay, so for most of the pairs that you guys are trading as well, if you're on floating, let me know so we can go through them, and we can know, we will basically do our best in troubleshooting these trades, knowing what's best to do by analyzing the market, so that we can share it to all of you guys who are trading today. Okay, especially those who are floating. Gbp Aud, Gbp Usd, and Gbp Jpy as well. Yes. We have got the GBP pairs, because I've mentioned this as well in the analysis today in Errante, that the focus is a lot on antipodian currencies. Antipodian means a Australian dollar and the New Zealand, or anything from Australia and New Zealand. These are called the antipodian regions. Okay, so if you hear that someday, you know what it means. Antipodian means Australia and New Zealand. Okay, so also, I've mentioned about GBP's potential to the upside and various other things. But again, certain things that are said is not set in stone unless it is more towards the uptrend, more towards the longer time frame, like the daily chart, for example, and then you have got your 4-hour, your daily chart. This is where we get the information. Remember, we get the information of the trend first. So you need to look into your daily chart quite a bit and to understand how you actually look at the daily chart for lower time frame trading. So you are looking at the daily chart only for the trend side of it. Okay, of course you need to mirror with the 3 lines, EMAs as well. You need to look to the right for the psychological levels as well, and support resistance to the left, various other things. So we're just going to cook all these ingredients, but make sure we have got the right ingredients as well when we put into the trading pot, so that we can analyze the market better, so that your profit tastes better. If not, it will be too little, not worth it, and then we are into floating as well. So it all boils down to the trend. Okay, so let's now go towards the chart. Okay, but we have to also just, I think I've left it halfway through on the action bias side of it. As you can see, we have got a consecutive 3 in a row. 4 in a row is the best, but then 3 consecutively like that is not too bad, but we need to do that check onto the chart. So we've got opportunities here on the upside, presumably. Let's say we don't say what the trend is when we look at it. We just say opportunity, and then we actually decide what the trend is from looking at the chart. Okay, so we've got opportunity on NZDCHF. We've got some opportunity, let's say earlier on. Okay, it's changed a little bit. Okay, it can change. So NZDCHF maintains itself there, bullish or bearish. Here it looks bullish. We confirm that. Okay, and that's it. So NZDCHF is one. I'll just also look at that, because sometimes what we need to do as well is to look at other pairs that we may not think of trading, but these other pairs could actually help your floating as well. If you place it properly, it might be able to, if the trend is strong, momentum is strong, trend is very clear, and we want to trade that to actually sort of cushion the losses for the others so that we can let the others go. Okay, so if something comes in, NZDCHF, we find good opportunities, we can actually trade in several areas just to cut the losses so that we can then cushion it, balance it, and then throw out the ones that is causing us loss, but then also want to cut the loss earlier. Okay, so this is the most important thing, because the main objective is to preserve your capital. You want to preserve your capital, you want to trade more, so you need to be still in the game. How you be still in the game is to cut your loss early, of course, also to really focus on the trend, and then be very, very clear on the trend, very clear on the checklist of things that you need. So let's us all go now to the chart. Okay, so let's start with the most traded pair, Euro USD first. Okay, because a lot of people are trading the Euro USD. Of course, it is one of the most traded currency as well. And here itself, if we are looking at the 4-hour chart itself, I mean, it is quite clear. It is moving to the upside, correct? This is for Euro USD. It's moving to the upside, but the price right now is at 1.1333. With regards to psychological numbers, of course, it's got a little bit more room to go up until it reaches which psychological level? The 1.1350. So the 501 you need to also monitor. That is what we look to the right. The price, the current price in relation or connecting it to psychological level, so that we know, okay, it could move. Yes, it's moving upwards. Yes, you've got a candle that is moving upwards, but we may have some resistance. Do we have resistance? We need to always ask the question of, do we have resistance where it will reverse? Do we have support? All these kind of things first to prevent us from being taken out. Okay, so now, for example, very simple, on the 4-hour chart itself, I see we've got some challenges here. Okay, that's your resistance right there, because that resistance right there, made of these 2 candles here, lower 2 candles, it initiated a sell via a long bearish candle right here as well. So that's quite strong. But of course, if it started from the very top right here, it went down quite a bit. Okay, so as we look at that on the left a little bit, you want to go slightly a little bit to the left as well. You want to minimize, and then you want to see what are all these threats about. What are the threats of the Euro USD going upwards? Now, as it goes up, let us just also clear all this. Okay, there you go. Okay, Now I'll just minimize that so you get an idea of where we stand. Location, location, location. For those of you guys who are doing property, you guys will understand what location means. It is also the same when you are actually trading the forex market, especially in a very volatile market. You want to know whether or not your decision is your location. Okay, your decision of whether to buy or sell will then tie up with the location of buyers and sellers. When you are thinking, okay, I want to buy there, I'm thinking of buying because I look at all this that is going on and I'm going to buy. Now, as you are thinking of that, you need to also look at where your risk could potentially be. Okay, so here, yes, you've got your very clear risk standalone peak right there. You've got another standalone peak right there. This one here, you know, you've got all of it laid out here as a very strong resistance level. Okay, but now the price has gone sort of, you know, towards it, these three resistance right here. But very important, we want to look at these peak, this one here and this one here. I will lay out one line here based on the highest, you know, the body of the candle right there, the highest body of the candle, and also on the wick as well. So if it's really very interesting to see that you've got this whole area right here. So we've got a very strong resistance area right here between 1.13 30 area to 1.1352. So for those of you guys who are on floating at this moment, you know that you are trapped in between these two lines at this moment of time. Okay, so whether your decision is a sell or a buy, it depends on location. Location of these candle has to be above 1.1350 and above, okay, to give you more room to the upside. As it goes upwards, of course, you've got another challenging area right here, which is the all these candles that have concentrated at this area here at 1.3900. So you have some room for the buy, about 50, almost 50 pips or so. But what about for the sell? Now, for the sell, as it comes downwards, okay, sometimes we get really confused. Where do we actually put all the support? Okay, so the most important thing is that's why I trade using the power of a single bearish or bullish candle, so that then I know whether or not at this time, looking left, do I have the support of some major single bearish candle to the downside? I've got it there. Okay, we will look at the upside as well in a bit. Okay, but from what I can see from all these candles right here, you have got a breakout of a single bearish candle here. We've got another breakout of a single bullish candle here, and then another one here, not as big as the rest, but then we've got another one here as well. So there's definitely interest in breaking out and selling, breaking out by selling Euro USD only if it comes under the 1.1330 and below. But then what I would look at is 1.1310 to sell. Now we can as well see that for the selling side. For the buying side, let's explore in a bit. Okay, I want to look at further to the left whether or not I have found any bullish candle that have actually sparked upwards from the 1.1352 and above. Okay, so your selling price anyway is 1.1340 if it is selling, correct? 10 pips below the 50. So your buying price is anyway 10 pips above the 50, which is 60, 1.1360. Okay, so here we have got a bit of a strength of candle there as it comes downwards. Okay, but let's look at the potential downwards kind of potential. I would say about almost 40 pips or so. Almost 40 pips, just about 40 pips, let's say. What about the power to the upside above the 1.1350s area? So as you guys can note, can see from the most recent move here, we have not found a single, I would say we have one right here, a single bullish candle there, but it's not looking like you've got many and you've got loads of buying type power. The other thing as well is that we are in a territory of strong resistance as well. So you want to be very, very careful trading the Euro USD. Even though you are on a floating, you need to understand where is your location. Your location is here. Where is the location of opportunities for the buy, opportunities for the sell, but then how big they are, can they actually cover? So we cannot really tell you know, that we can cover our losses and all that. We just want to minimize the losses as best as we can, but we need to understand what we are looking for and what we are looking at on your chart. Okay, so here, for example, on 1.1352, since this level here, we could not really see anything that is clear that may tell us that, oh yes, it's going to go up, and you know, you've got very, very strong single bullish candle to the left. We didn't find that, so I need to go back a little bit more. Okay, just to look at, we've got something here. Okay, potentially that one there went from now, the price now to slightly above. We're talking about a single bullish candle right here, and I want to look at whether we've got anything further than that. Okay, so we've not laid out the selling one yet. Selling one, we're looking at the longest candle here. Okay, I think so, or maybe slightly longer is the first one here, this one here. Okay, or maybe the last one, sorry. So we have got some bullishness going on. Single bullish candle has reached there. Let's see. That is how high the bullishness have actually gone in the past, okay, based on a single bullish candle. But then, you know, we are looking at 4 hour now, and the bearish part, we've only got this much, but we need to explore a little bit more and get an idea. Okay, let me just bring you guys to the left. As you can see, the trading opportunity for a sell as it stands now, it's smaller than the bulls. Okay, the bulls have experienced some very big party, some big buying party before in the past. Okay, so here, for example, we still have got that sell, but then with that bearish candle alone, still the same as where the other selling were. Okay, so we want to monitor that a lot. Okay, we've got that bullish one right there as it breaks out, but see, it's not really on the dot of 1352. Okay. It's not too bad this area, but just an idea, 1427. So 1410, if you're buying, you know, from now, that 1410 would be where you need to exit before it brings you more losses, if at all it has gone, you know, to that direction, opposite of your direction in case. But if it's on a profit, of course, it's a different story. This is not very clear yet. It's only a Monday as well, and sometimes it needs time. Okay. I don't really see a lot of sign of the bearishness. Yes, bullishness, you know, is still in the area of confusion at the moment in terms of direction. We've got some very strong characters by candles going downwards here. I mean, we've got a lot of support here as well. Okay, I think we should not look too far to the back. We've got something here as well. As you can see, you know, very nice long candle here. Okay, on the Euro USD, you see its current price is on here. It went up there. It's very close to where I've marked it. So 1.1410 is an area, possibly. If the momentum picks up for the buy, you can see it go up to the 1.1430 area. Okay, the selling is a little bit, we've got limit there for the selling as well. You know, we've got some there, but I have not really seen very long. Some long candles are there, but they're actually lower, much lower than where we propose to actually enter upon breakout. So that does actually tell me that we have got more selling, perhaps lower as well. We have got one nice bearish candle right here that is of, okay, that one that we can use as well. That was on the 26th of February. Okay, so here, if I bring this one down a little bit, the end of the candle, okay, this is very interesting because let's look at this. The buying potential from this area here is about 80 pips. Okay, now this one here, from here to here, that's about 75 pips. So you see, it's good that we are in a balance, but then of course we need to know the direction, right? Euro USD. So what we do is we go into the daily chart, and you can see it very clearly that it is actually on the upside on the daily chart. All the candles are above all the EMA lines as well. It has some room, but if it does actually pierce out, it may just give some pips, not too much, if it decides to reverse here, because that's where it is, that end of the bullish area, and that's about only 20 pips or so. But once it does actually break out from 1.1352 area, you do have a potential for it to go up there. So I do want to also move that one up a little bit, okay, just to close that one there. So here you go, guys. Yeah, the Euro USD, it looks like we have got more bias to the upside. Okay, more on the upside, but again, we want to make use of previous single bearish or bullish candle to give us all these ideas and to make things a little bit smoother for us to not float a little bit too much. So there you go, Euro USD. If you guys are wanting to buy again, not now, but at 1.1360, and then you want to watch out for this area right here, but I think there probably are more opportunities. It does depend on the news as well. Okay, clear? Euro USD so far, you guys are okay? Any questions on Euro USD? No questions? Okay, we'll move on to GBP AUD as well. Okay, so do I have it here? Yes. It's getting stronger as well, the Euro USD. You guys can see that live, yeah? Okay. We have got GBP USD here. Just going to lay it out. GBP USD, GBP AUD, and GBP Jpy. GBP Jpy. Okay. All right, good. At least we've got some that are already set up. Okay, so let's move on to GBP USD. Let me just clear off all these first. All right, you guys tell me, GBP USD, let's just shift that out a little bit. I'm going to get rid of this just for now, and we'll put that back on the ADX later on. Now, on the daily chart. Now, what does the daily chart gives you? What does it give you in terms of trend? Remember, you want to look at this movement here is definitely giving you some idea of the strength built up for GBP USD. But again, from the lower high, lower low, and then you've got higher high as well. It's just that we're looking at what goes on here and here. Okay, if it does actually go up a little bit more and start to sort of find resistance up here, then you may have a double top here, which basically would signal price plunging downwards. Okay, but that time you need to always monitor, look into whether or not you got a bearish candle or not. Okay, not monitor all day on the screen, but to actually know what you're looking at, and you want to get the hints. If you see the prices going up, and then it found a bit of a how you call that, pin bar needle right here at the top here, then it has got a higher probability to want to go down even more, because it's not giving the power to the upside. Okay, so here, for example, if I were to draw your pattern, your triangle pattern or any pattern, I want a lot of touch point. But touch point there, another touch point, 3 to the minimum. Can we squeeze in one more? Perhaps, yes. I'll just move a little bit more. Okay, and remove this one just a little bit there. There you go. So here itself, you've got this one, no, but you've got this, this, and this. Okay, so I'll make this one a little bit. Okay, done. So here itself, we have got an A here, B here, C as well. But before that, this is Gbp USD, guys, yeah? Okay, so here as well, we want to triangleize them, not strangle them, but use the triangles right here. Okay, so as you can see, you have got zigzagging until it meets here area, but of course you can always look at if you've got the A to B and then you move that one there, the upside, so that is a potential candle, potential profit area right there as well. But I'm going to mark it there. Look to the left, you've got loads of falling of prices, of course, but we are looking at potential to the buy if it's on the buy side. On the selling side as well, you can do that, but we are sort of waiting for a breakout at the moment. For GBP USD, we want to know whether or not it respects the 2620 area to the upside, going above the 2620, at least 2630, then you can start trading, right? Because 10 pips above the 20. What about under 20? You're looking at the sell side of it at 2610 roughly. So I'm just curious to know where this resistance right here, okay, and you have got 1.25, 87 or 89 or 88, sorry, is very close to the 80 psychological level as well. So in order for us to look at the sell side of it, you want to look at the because it's at 2622, so you want to look at 1.2610 at least for the sell for GBP USD. Okay, so for now I am just looking at a few pairs and to look at a lot of price action. We're looking at loads of data releases from tomorrow as well, so I want you guys to be really careful, okay, because we cannot afford to float too big whereby we want to repair that. And when even if we repair big chunks of potential loss, what it will do is that it starts to pull down the equity level, and then you are working with less and less money. Okay, working with less means that you don't have much security on it. So that's why I want to make use of it as best as we can to look at how do we actually really control our losses at the time that it is happening. Okay, of course the strategy side of it and all that is really good, and you guys can catch that one up really early, as opposed to a psychological or risk management related topics. These are a little bit dry, but then they're super essential. Okay, all right. Here on the ABCD itself, we have got that versus that. So did I do this one right? Yes. So there you go. So it has a potential up to this area as well, marked by the E point at 1.2976. Of course, you want to take profit at 1.2970. You want to how do you call that? Do a buy on 1.2760 area. Okay, so you do have significantly a very good potential to actually enter the market. This is for GBP USD, guys. Okay. Any questions so far for GBP USD? You guys could make it. Don't be shy. You can always tell me what doesn't make sense, and then we go back to it quickly and we start, learning from each other, and you can brush up your skills. Okay. Also, something really interesting. We can do an A here, and then your B. And we pull that one up, but again, we want to be really careful here. Okay, there you go. Better clarity onto the chart. So you've got GBP USD. No questions at all, guys. Alfred, you have a question on your GBP USD? So far, is it making sense? All good? Yeah. Okay, so GBP USD, we've seen it. Any questions, you can come back again, not clear with the pricing, entry, exit, SL, you can always ask in the middle, in between as well. Okay, so anytime. Now let's look at, of course, we've got the GBP USD, we've got the GBP AUD, GBP Jpy is here. Your Euro USD earlier on is here, so I'll put it there. Because what I want to do is just to leave it here so that when we come back to it onto the chart, we'll see what had happened or didn't hit your TP or hit your stop loss instead, whatever we can, and we discuss, and then you guys can understand how to actually do it better the next time. Okay, so Euro USD we've done, GBP USD. Let's just go on to your GBP AUD. So GBP AUD is as such really messy chart. So let me just clear it off. There we go. So I'll just reduce this a little bit. Okay, so what you guys can see for GBP AUD, we've done GBP USD. Okay, GBP AUD. So GBP AUD, as you can see, clearly on the daily chart itself, this is where we want to know trend, is the fall of price. You've got all this falling taking place. How strong is this falling? Okay. So it's reasonable. How many pips roughly? Just from this low here right down to price now even. That's 2361. 200, let's say 240 on average pips downwards, okay, from that whole stretch. So at this moment of time, again, on the daily chart, you can see it's clearly downtrend. It is very way below the 3 EMAs as well, and you can also see the price at the moment is at 1.8086. So why is it that we are looking at most prices at this time and they are all on psychological level? So here is 1.8080 is your psychological level. You want the price to go under and below through 1.8085 as of now, and if it does actually break out lower and lower under the 80 psychological level, then it's got more potential to the downside. So now it's more sit and see or sit and watch for the GBP. We're looking at the GBP AUD now. Okay, so there you go, guys. We have got that. Now as it goes downwards, I mean, we've got quite strong downward type movement, as you can see as well. And if we were to go onto the 4-hour chart, you can see that it did try to push upwards a lot, but then sort of got blocked by the EMA 200 right there, EMA 100, EMA 50. Okay, so the EMAs are quite significant for me as well, as you guys can see. You can see that there. All right, so let's say it's a downtrend, and I'm not sure whether you have got a bit of a reversal or not. I usually go into stochastic or let's say we use RSI because most people are very familiar with RSI. Okay, so you have got, that comes under the oscillators, and then we have got that relative strength. We've got the 50 right here. You can also add your 70 right there. Okay, not 70 but 30. 30 is your oversold, 70 is your overbought right there. What I'm doing now is I just want to look at whether or not we've got potential for reversal, exhaustion of traders, whether buyers or sellers. Now, in this case, we may have some exhaustion of sellers in the market. Okay, so if I were to apply the what do you call that again? The trend indicator, sorry, the oscillator. It's relative strength index or RSI, not the relative vigor index. That's RVI. Okay, that's something else. Then you've got your RSI right here. Okay, I didn't actually apply that just now. So we have got, I'll just leave the 50 right there. I want the under the lower one right there. Okay, good. I also want the 70 Okay, it comes under that, and properties will add 70 for the overbought, 70. So you got your 50, your 30, and your 70. Okay, 50 is just your neutral. Okay, so then click OK. Right, there you go. So here, for example, I want to look for divergence. Okay, I will show you what divergence is. I'll start with the daily chart. Okay. You've got a peak right there. Okay, you've got a peak right there. You've got another peak right there. And you've got a high here, a high here. So that high and that high. So this one here, I hope you guys can see it clearly. This one here, let's see where it reflects. Okay, so that peak represents that peak. Okay, so now this peak here is from this one here. So if we can see, what do we call a divergence? Divergence are opposite. Something is not showing you exactly what you expect. Like for example, here it's all a downward type move. Okay, here you have got a higher, lower high, because this high became lower. But for this one here, this high became higher. All right. So we do have a bit of a divergence. You see that one there? That peak to that peak is a slope up. And this peak to this peak is a slope down. Okay. So what that means? That means that this downward trend may actually experience a reversal. Okay, so this is what, because we see we have got a divergence right here as well at the overbought area as well. Okay, so it's from the overbought came downwards, but it does not mean this is what we follow. It means that because there is a bit of a divergence, there may be a potential for price to reverse anytime soon. If we look to the left, yes, it has got an area that it is really looking at potential to go upwards. But again, we want to wait for the market. We want to see what is really going on. The other thing you guys can do as well is that if you look at the blue line on the RSI, this area right here, you can see that it's this area right here is above the 50%. So not the 50%, the 50 level. So if it's above 50 level, that's on the uptrend. If it's downtrend, the blue line is under the 50, that is more on the downtrend. But again, we want to mix ingredients. We don't want to just follow one. So again, if I put this aside on the RSI, I want to look at all this area right here as well. Okay. It looks like there may be a bit of reversal going on. If I put this one here, okay, it's gone downwards right there, and we just want to wait. We want to look at this. This is quite interesting on the market as well on the GBP AUD, whether or not this indicator right here, RSI, I sometimes use stochastics for the same reason. So for those who are wondering what am I doing with the RSI now, is this the same thing? Both are oscillators. You do it the same way. Then it's not really very different from each other. Okay, so it's the functionality. What do you use it for? That's the most important thing. Okay, so I use it for divergence only, meaning that now the market's downwards. I think there may be a potential for a reversal to the upside. Now, this is just the daily chart that we're looking at. So now on the 4-hour, okay, let's look at most recent moves. Okay, oops. Okay, there you go. So what about all these here? We've got this one here. We have got this one here. So that's quite a, if you draw a line there, this is your higher low right here. Do we see anything very, very obvious? Not really. There may be some small divergence somewhere, but we're going to look at the most effective one, okay, or the most clear one, the one that we can see, and then we can tell that, okay, it's, you know, really a divergence. So here on a downward type movement on the daily, again, we seen the same thing, but on the shorter time frame, we didn't really see it that clear. Let's see. Okay, like this one here, you have got higher, you have got prices going upwards, right? So this is your high, and this one here will be your lower high. Okay, here is the same, so there's no divergence. There's a high, it's moving exactly the same here, but it does not happen all the time. If it does not happen, price here does not mirror or match this RSI or stochastic, that actually means you've got a divergence, and that divergence usually is signaling reversal for you. Okay, so there may be a potential of reversal. I want to make sure that we have a single bullish candle as well. Okay, it helps you the single bullish candle or bearish candle, because you can then use that candle, you can apply your stop loss, your take profit, everything in within that candle. So it sort of lower down your risk level as well. And then because you are looking into the potential of other buyers or sellers into the market based on what have happened, which are the single bearish or bullish candle. Okay, so that's it. That is it. And let's just look at it. Okay, so I'm expecting a little bit of bullishness on the daily chart. Okay, for GBP AUD, we want to look at more bullishness above the 8100 area. So 81. So we need time to actually see this happening first, because at this moment of time, it looks like we have got a bit of uncertainty going on the 1 hour chart, but the daily, as we have talked earlier on, is giving us a lot of bearish type momentum. Okay, what about the 4 hour chart? Okay, it's very uncertain right there. Okay, so we'll leave the GBP AUD a little bit to see what it does and how we need further structure of the market. Okay, at this moment of time, a little bit unclear. Not a little bit, it's quite all over the place at the moment for GBP AUD. So it's just very difficult to make that that decision per se. Right. So next one, let's go on to GBP Jpy. Now, Gbp Jpy, you can always start daily chart first. As you guys know, we have drawn this pattern, hit take profit as well for the buy on Gbp Jpy. Now the price seems to be, on the strong side, heading upwards for Gbp Jpy as well. But the trend still is strong to the upside. But what to look out for is that needle area right there. Let me just get rid of all these first. Okay, Gbp Jpy. So you guys can see, right? Gbp Jpy and Gbp Aud. I mean, the whole movement are quite mirrored. They move almost the same. Okay, so this is quite important for us. We also have, okay, on the 1 hour Gbp Jpy, it is kicking off quite well, but we want to look at the resistance area right there. We go back to the daily chart. Weekly daily chart, you can see that it's just trying to go above all the 3 lines EMAs as well. But at this moment of time, we've got the pin bar candle right there. Again, this is one of the pair that you want to really watch whether the breakout is to the upside above the 200 EMA or under the 50 EMA as well. So here itself, you can always do a bit of a triangle right here. Okay, and also a little bit more here. Okay, now here this is dangerous, because if we do a trend line like this before the price have actually even settled, now you want to see whether it is a C point, for example, A, B, C, D, let's say, as an example, the C point here, whether it's really a C point or not, is that if your shape of your pattern is A, B, C, D, so the C has to come down, right? That C point need to come down at least with 1 or 2 candles, especially on the 1 hour chart, 1 or 2 candles down first, then it will solidify the C point. If not, it's a little bit difficult. Okay. Okay, how is that? You guys are okay so far? Anything not very clear when I go back to a certain pair? How are you guys doing so far? All good? We've got a lot of trading opportunities, so I am already setting up some trade ideas and all that, but I see that it's really risky to set them up today and trade for today because, you know, we've got a very busy calendar tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday. Tomorrow is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we've got a very heavy docket of economic data releases. So that will then give us a lot more, I think, in my opinion, trading opportunities coming from volatility. So the volatility will be caused by all these data announcements and then the news and all kind of stuff. So that should actually give us a lot more opportunities and trading setup. Okay, so far so good, Pratap. Thank you. All right, good. So we have looked already, Alfred, right, on the GBP USD, GBP Jpy, Euro USD, GBP AUD. So we need, if there's any other questions that you know not clear coming from me, then just let me know so that we can go over it again. Okay, so clear, right, Alfred? Brilliant, good. Okay, so the rest of you guys, any questions at all? Current trade or something you're thinking of, a pair, but then not sure. We can discuss it together. The others will learn. You will get a better idea and a picture of your current trade as well. Okay, so here, I like using the ADX. So ADX, you know, sometimes you can see if it's in a trending market, you need to use the ADX. Your ADX will be giving you the idea of whether or not it is strong enough. Like for example, here, whatever trend that we are looking at is quite weak. It's not moving too much. It doesn't have much strength. Why? Because the 25, the blue line right there is pretty close to 25. It doesn't look like it's very excited to go above the 25 level at this moment of time. Okay, so here, yes, you're right. NZDCHF is something we have to take a look at. I've written it down here. Give me a second. Okay, so yes, if you guys have got no questions from the rest, let's look at NZDCHF. Okay. Okay, let's, I think I've laid them out as well, but I want to always start from scratch so you guys can all understand me. NZDCHF. Let's just get rid of all these. Okay, so we'll start with the daily chart first. I mean, with the 3 lines as well, you can see it's above all 3 lines. It may be making a bit of a correction right up there. It's got a big pin bar needle up there for the 1 hour chart, telling us that it may actually be a little challenging to go upwards because of the pin bar up here. Okay, that one there. Now also loads of resistance all across here, right where the current price is, and the current price on the right is at 6194. so let's just wait for it to depreciate further, come down to 80, and tell us that it wants to go down more by going under the 80 psychological number. 6180 and under should give us more potential to the downside, because if you look at this very significant candle right here and also here, now that itself is at 6188. So if we put that at 6180, okay, that is just there in the middle almost of the candle. Now as it approaches downwards, there's about 100, oh no, that's only about 12 pips from that area, so it's a little bit too small. So that's on the 1 hour chart. Okay, I feel that it's got more room to downside. Perhaps correction first, not room to downside, but correction before it takes it above some more. Okay, because it's quite high and above all the three lines as well. But let's look at the daily chart. Always look a daily chart first. Okay, that's a good idea. Also, the other option is if you guys want to follow exactly how I have taught you guys to look at it at 1 hour chart and the 4 hour chart and daily chart, you can do that too. But I've realized that that's actually for very conservative traders, as well as those who want to trade every day may not find it very attractive to actually do that. So hence the reason I'm going to look at a daily chart, and then we want to go to the lower time frame. Okay, because most of the intraday traders like yourselves, we can look at Euro GBP as well. Yes, give me a second, Alfred. We will just look at NZD now, and then we'll move to the Euro GBP. Second. Okay, so here itself on the daily chart, what do you guys think? Yeah, it's got a bit of a room, okay, to the upside. It's got some support here, which can be resistant as well for it to come down. But as it moves, if it does move upwards, then it will most probably follow that bullish candle right there as well. So we have got some room, but the resistance is quite close. Okay, so you get a resistance there. That's based on that peak right there. And if we take this current price all the way up there, that's about 80 pips already. So yes, from the daily chart, we do have some room. If we move on to the lower time frame as well, because then it gives us a bit of an idea that yes, we may have some bullishness, but not too much, not hundreds of pips, about 80 pips or so. How did we get that? We got that from the daily chart. Now, this is the area. What I would like to see is whether or not on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, do we have a single bullish candle on the left to reach that area right there. If we don't find it, maybe then dominance is by the bears, by the sellers. Okay. Single bullish candle from the current price. Okay. Right. On the 4 hour chart. So we do have a little bit here. Okay. That one there's not too bad, but let's see what is. It's not really exactly touching the candle though. It's about only 20 pips or so. Forget that for now. We want to look at a good solid bullish candle above that red line. If you don't find it at all, that actually then means that we may not be able to ride that trend. There's just no trend to ride to the upside, okay, or strength of trend. So let's just do that. Let's explore here a little bit. Just a little bit there, but it's not what I'm expecting. I want something a little bit more solid. Not this one here either. It hasn't really touched the body and go up. There's one here slightly, not too bad, but it's sitting down here a little bit. We'll take the area 6,230, let's say. Oh no, sorry, it's 6,279, so 6,290 or so. But from there to go up, that is about 47 pips or so. It's just not very convincing, but if it does actually happen, then you can actually follow that candle right there. Okay. Okay, we've got it there, and let's see what's going on here. Nothing. Okay. Okay. We have some, but I must say that the average to the upside is not really that strong. Okay, because we don't have very strong bullish candle, single bullish candle. We've just got more bearish candle at the moment from the price now. Okay, we do have some support here, of course, but then if it were to move, I think, in my opinion, it would actually move a little bit higher to pick up from this single candle right here. Okay, and that is worth about from here to here. Oops. From here to here, that's about 80 pips again. Okay, so there you go. We do have some room, but we need to wait till prices go up to 6 to about 6 to 30. Then it may have more room to the upside. Now it's just too early. The question is, will all these support that we can see that hasn't lots of power, no single bearish bullish candle in there. If there were, it's just not very powerful as well. So we need to have all these watched over because they are all very, very risky. Okay, all this area. So at this moment of time, if I want to see that the NZD-CHF has got buying opportunities, then it has to go a little bit higher. Okay, only at 6 to 30, then we enter. So do we find it doing that? Not yet. Okay, so here itself, yes, you have got the on the 4-hour as well, daily as well, yes, to the upside. And the 1 hour not too bad, but the 1 hour I find it to be not enough data, so hence the reason, you know, it's better to look at the daily chart. Here already marked that red area there. If at all it's going to go up, that is where it could go up to, and then find a bit of reversal at that area to go down more. But as it comes down, it find correction again, and I think the direction for NZD-CHF is to the upside, together with the AUD crosses and all that that's going on at the moment. Okay, guys, last one, we'll look at Euro GBP, which is this one here. It's looking like on the daily chart, we've got a lot of buying going on in that one single candle. It may look to you like it's not really a lot, but we are looking at the daily chart from there to the end here. That is about already 45 pips or so on that one there. But it started a nice bullish candle with no wick right there. It means that it's got a lot of power to the upside for the Euro GBP. So let's take a look. Okay, there we go. Euro GBP very much on the upside, but the daily chart does give me, you know, a bit more idea. And here, okay, if it were to go up much more, a standalone area would actually be here. Okay, so that is at the 91.40 area, which is exactly an area that I would, you know, accept the market as well, because it's 10 pips under the 50 psychological numbers. And here we are at the 8994. So yeah, 89. So maybe at the 9,000 area. 9,010 probably would be an area to consider more buying, and then take profiting at 9140 as we have marked here. So you've got a bit of a room, but not really that strong. But it might just make that happen, mainly because the distance is not too far. The pips are not too big. Okay, so you can actually use some 50 to 60 pips single candle, and there were a lot of those ones, but it's just that it's not you know, we need stronger one to tell us that yes, it can go much higher. At this moment of time, probably that is your limit, but we want to look at that later. We want to see whether that is exactly how the market has decided. Okay, so any questions, guys? Anything at all before we end the session? We have looked into about 6 pairs. Okay, we want to guide you. I want to guide you better, but I think it's just a little bit too early to find a direction. As you guys noticed as well, you know, you don't really get current prices above all the 3 EMA lines, under all the 3 EMA lines, and all that. I think it's waiting. Market's waiting for more action during the week. So as I've mentioned, Wednesday, Thursday, sorry, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, these three in the middle of the week has got loads and loads of data. So take a look as well. I'm talking about high impact data. Okay, both Wednesday, Thursdays, if I look at high impact alone, you've got about 6 to 7 right there. So that is giving a lot of market opportunities as well. So I'm going to take a look tomorrow. I'll set up more, what do you call that, exact entries, exits for the ones that I'm choosing for trading tomorrow, and I'll have them all links, all these links to be posted onto the trading dot so that you guys can really take a look at what's there and earn yourself TDCs as well. Okay, so then you can change that to fiat currency as well later on. Okay, guys, if no questions, we'll end the session for tonight, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Any questions? All good, brilliant, Pratap, thank you. We'll wait for the market. Yes, I think it's better for now because it's Monday, and not only that, because it's a Monday, but because we're expecting loads of volatility from a very heavy economic data docket. Okay, if it's not much, we can still, look at the volume and trade and all that. But because of that, we expect a lot of sudden reversals as well. This is what we went through last week. You see, there were some sudden reversals. Things were already factored into the price, and then suddenly we think, most traders also look at it, and think that it could go that way, but then it has actually reversed tremendously. So but I see a lot of trading opportunities for this week, and we have got lots of very big data. We've got CPIs, we've got central banks decisions, we've got ECBs, we've got the Swiss bank as well, we've got the Bank of England as well, and then we have got all these CPIs and certain unemployment and employment figures as well for Switzerland. So take a look at Errante's fundamental as well, which I write every morning, so you can then get an idea of what are all the high impact news, and then a little bit of market summary. So you can always look at market analysis, and I provide that every morning, and you guys can see that as well. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Chenko. I'm glad that you find it interesting. But next time, any questions at all, if you guys ask more and then you've got more to ask, then more probably you guys have to trade as well. We got more trade ideas. Okay. So the more you ask, the more I can cover, the more skills you polish, the more you trade, the better it will be. Okay. Good. All right. So see you guys again tomorrow, and we didn't really cover the topic of today, so we can cover the topic of today tomorrow as well. The reason is because Monday, I want it to be quite clear for most of the traders. If you are on a floating and you are actually a little bit worried about your current trade for the week, for example, carrying your floats from last week and all that, we want to address that, especially on a Monday. Okay, so so that you can then find it interesting or listening to the topic. If not, your mind will actually just wander around wondering whether or not your trades will be hitting your stop loss, and then your losses are multiplying, and you will have all that in the mind. So we want to always clear out that side of it. Okay, good. Okay, guys, take care. Thank you very much for your time, and have a pleasant evening. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Have a great day tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.